Success in life is never accidental. Growth in the major areas of life is never accidental. It is something that we all have to prepare for. It is something that we have to be deliberate about. It is something that we have to be conscious of because we all see all these overnight successes and we say, oh, wow, I want to be an overnight success. But it takes a lot. It takes a lot of mental strength. It takes a lot of awareness. It takes a lot of structure for us to be able to get to where we want to be. One of the things I pride myself in is my ability to apply business concepts to my personal life, especially when I see organizations applying these concepts, these principles, and they are growing. The question I ask myself is, why can't I apply this? Why can't I transfer this knowledge, this skill, this principle, this process? Why can't I apply it to my personal life? And I've done this for most of the business concepts that I have been exposed to, be it annual planning, goal setting, Kaizen, whatever it is. Once I said risk management, whenever I see concepts that are working for organizations, the first thing I ask myself is, if this is working for an organization, a legal entity, can it work for me as a person? And one of the things that I also like about organizations is the structure, the systems, the processes, the foundations, the enablers that they put in place to ensure that they continue to grow year on year. When I join an organization, any organization, whether it is requested or not, I like to ask, where are we going? Where is the direction? What are the strategic priorities of the organization? Where are we headed? What is important to us? What does success look like? That's the only way I can key into the purpose of the organization. I like to build something called the strategy house. And I started this, I think, when I started my role in strategy when I was in Hellenic. And it has really been a very good pictorial representation of the foundations and enablers that help organization to grow. And when creating this, my goal is to condense as much as possible the business priorities into one single page, just one page PowerPoint, so that it is very easy for me to grasp the mission and how to get there. I always say to myself, if I cannot explain it concisely, then I don't understand it enough. If I would need like 50 slides deck for me to be able to explain the direction or the mission of the business, then I don't understand it enough. Before explaining how we can apply the strategy house to our personal lives, let me try and explain how this works within an organization. So a strategy house is like a one-page document, like I said, and it's just the picture of a house with a roof, with pillars, and with foundations. And usually for the roof, what we sort of put there for an organization is the basic things the organization wants to achieve. We try to keep it really simple, focusing on the vital few. In this case, you can have, for example, to grow revenue from X to X. You can have to grow market share from X percentage to Y percentage. You can also have to grow profitability from X dollars to X. Basically, these are the metrics that would tell you if you're winning, that would tell you if you are growing as an organization. So we try to put that at the roof. And then we also try as much as possible, like I said, to keep it simple. Maybe not more than 3. so that it's easy for communication. So you want to tell someone what you're gunning for as an organization. You're basically saying, this year, these are the things we're working towards achieving. If I look at the strategy house of any organization and I see those things, listed in the roof, I already know for a fact that everything below is going to be helping the organization to achieve those elements they've called out in the roof of the strategy house. And then you have the pillars. For some organization, they can have 3 pillars, they can have 2 pillars, they can have 4 pillars, depending on those key things that you need as an organization to achieve the roof, in quotes. And this could be digital and innovation, this could be route to market optimization, this could be innovation. These are the elements that you need to focus on. These are more or less like your enablers. Without these things, you cannot achieve the goals that you have set for yourself or the objectives that you've set for yourself as an organization. And then you have the foundation. So for the foundation, usually you would have things like culture. This is a significant factor. You can have things like culture. You can have things like people. Some people call foundation enablers. These are things that sets you up for success or failure as an organization. So you have, as your foundation, you can have people, you can have culture, you can have processes. These are things that would help the organization to achieve its objectives, of course, resting on top of the pillars to make it easy for them to say, as an organization, we have won. I remember reading an article from the late Clayton Christensen, the professor in Harvard, and he asked in that article some salient questions. The first one, he said, is the organization structured for change? Can your business processes support the innovation you seek? Do you have the proper foundation and structure to rest your initiatives? So you have route to market optimization, for example. Do you have the people that can drive this to success? Do you have the culture that can permit this to work? Do you have the systems? Do you have the processes to make this work? And these questions can also apply to us as an individual. So let's now lay this idea of strategy house on us as a person. I created my own strategy house many years ago. I know. I'm extra like that. Okay. I created my own strategy house. And I think I shared it at some point also during one of the goal setting workshops that I have on an annual basis. I think I shared it. Anyway, I put for the roof what I want to achieve. And it is simple. I just want to live a full and fulfilling life, a life of impact. That was what I put there. What this means to me would be different from what it means to someone else. So you're free, of course, to define what you want to sit, what you want to represent in the roof of your house. And maybe we should call this not a strategy house now, maybe a purpose house. Okay, let's forget about what to call it, whatever we call it. The main thing is that we are trying to bring in the concepts that have worked for organizations into our personal life. And we want to see if looking at this one pager every day drives us closer to our goals and our objectives in life. Okay, so I put that for the roof, and then I moved to the pillar. For the pillars, I put things like my non-negotiable values, and I think I have a full episode on that. I'll try and, link it in this episode. If you haven't listened, please do listen to that. That is also very critical. So you can have, like, for your pillars, non-negotiable values, because that sort of directs, again, how. It defines the how you get to your overall goal. What you have written in that roof, it sort of defines it. It sort of gives you boundary. At what length do you want to go to get that thing you put in the roof? At what lengths? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to stretch? What are you willing to pay as a cost? So you can have non-negotiable values as one pillar, and this could be, integrity, authenticity, fairness, accountability, whatever it is. I'm sure this will differ by individuals. And then you can have things like discipline. And my own definition of discipline is doing what needs to be done, whether or not it is convenient. You can have that discipline because to achieve what you've put in the roof, you need a high level of discipline. You can have things like tenacity. You can have things like, it depends on you. Just look at yourself and say, what are those pillars? What are those things that I need that are critical for me to be able to achieve what I have put in the roof as my overall objectives in life? And then you can have your foundation. Remember when I said for organizations, that can be, for example, that can be culture, that can be people. I think it's more or less the same here. The foundation can be also your enablers. So for me, I put things like acquiring new skills and knowledge. I put things like building connections and relationships. Those are the kind of things I put in mine. You can have it different in yours. I put things like leveraging technology. As much as possible, I want to take advantage of the opportunities that technology provides. And I put things like continuously learning and adapting. I believe with this as my foundation and with my pillars well defined to say, even though I do all those things, I need like a strong structure upon which I will base the goals, the objectives that I want for my life. I hope that you're inspired to build your own strategy house, leveraging these concepts that organizations use all the time. And I also hope that when you do, you put it somewhere that you can always say, and you look at it every time and ask yourself, am I walking in the direction of my goals in life? Am I clear? Am I clear about what I want? Am I seeking the help that I require? Do I have the right pillars to hold me through this phase where I am working hard to get everything that I desire? You can begin to ask yourself, are you structured for success? Are you structured for growth? Are you doing the right things? Are you focusing on the right things? Because it's important. I keep saying it every time. It's important that at the end of the day, we do not have any regret. We want to be able to say at the end of the day that we truly lived, and we lived a fulfilling life. We live a life of impact. And until next time when I come your way again, I remain yours, Adebola Ido. You can simply call me Ade.